Alright YouTube, so we have another news roundup, info roundup for Fallout 76. Surprisingly this time, it's not all from P. Hines Twitter. There's actually only like one thing from P. Hines Twitter that's kind of small. Uncle Pete's pretty busy with this Greenbrier Hotel thing, and here recently, he hasn't tweeted that much because he went to a Capitals game. I hate that I know that, but I'm stalking Pete Hines these days. Please reply to my text, Pete. So what we have in today's video, we have a small Fallout 76 leak. We actually know when we're going to get to see that new gameplay from whatever this capture event is that they're doing, that they've been doing for like 5 years now. Apparently people are losing their shit over the fact that you can do a melee build. We'll talk about that. And there's actually a new Todd Howard interview that's kind of short, but a little bit interesting. So first up, we'll look at the one Pete Hines thing. This guy messaging Pete Hines about melee builds, and he says, in Fallout 76, will melee builds be a viable choice as a primary source of damage for in-game PvE encounters? To which Pete Hines replies, I haven't tried it, but there's a lot of melee support in the way of perks and weapons. So I almost didn't even want to put this into a video because to me it's non-news, but I thought it's kind of funny because everybody was like, guys, you know, melee's an option for Fallout 76, and it's like, yeah. Obviously, melee's always been an option in the Fallout games. I don't even know why people would tweet Pete Hines this question. Of course, there's going to be melee weapons and melee perks, and if you build your character to be a melee character, invest perks to make your character stronger with melee weapons and better with melee weapons, it is a viable option. This is non-news. Next up, we have the update on when we're going to see that gameplay from this Greenbrier Hotel event, and this person tweets at I am Fall from Grace and says, when are we going to see some gameplay? To which he replies, I'm able to show off some gameplay on October 8th. Now this is something I've been saying for a bit now because I heard it somewhere and I honestly do not remember where, but if you guys remember my last video, I mentioned how I heard that they weren't going to be able to show gameplay until next Monday, but I didn't know if that was entirely true or not, or if it was confirmed, and next Monday is October 8th. And as a side discussion, I don't understand why these people left so early. Like, a lot of people left last Friday for whatever this is going to be, but a lot of them aren't even playing the game until, like, right now. Because I think, as I'm recording this video, which will be yesterday as y'all are watching this, like, Maddie tweeted out that he just played Fallout 76. It's like, y'all have been gone for 5 or 6 days now. Like, it makes me wonder what else they've been doing besides capturing gameplay, because they've all been gone for quite a while. Next up, we're going to look at the Todd Howard interview. It's kind of interesting because it came from the French YouTube account for Bethesda, which I didn't even know that they had. The questions on screen are in French, but of course Todd Howard's answers are in English. Now, before we even get into it, the thumbnail actually says interview number 1, so there's going to be more Todd Howard interviews or just more interviews in general from Bethesda Game Studios, but I don't know if it's going to be specific to this French Bethesda Softworks channel, but be on the lookout.
My personal favorite part of Fallout 76 is all of the things that I don't expect the players to do that they then do when they create their own fun.
So I'm guessing the question was something along the lines of, what is your favorite thing about Fallout 76? To which Todd Howard replies that his favorite thing is whenever the players do stuff that they didn't even know was possible or they didn't even think of, which is kind of a cool answer. He goes on to give the story that we heard, I believe, at QuakeCon, where one of the people who work at Bethesda like sits in the middle of the road playing a tuba to attract other players, but then he has like turrets hidden in like the brush and the woods and stuff, you know, to protect him if the person attacks them.
Every game that we do, we are taking all of the feedback that we've gotten from our fans, which are amazing, and they give it all to us, whether it's good, bad, whatever. That's what makes us better developers. And so reading all that feedback from our previous games, what they already think about Fallout 76, really informs what we're doing, what we do in the future.
So Todd Howard's pretty much saying that they listen to fan feedback, they listen to the community, and we talked about this in one of our videos that we've done for Fallout 76, how like the Broken Steel add-on for Fallout 3 was literally because the fans wanted to play the game after they beat the story, because the game just ended like the old Fallout games do. So they made Broken Steel, gave you an after story for the game, and let you continue exploring the Capital Wasteland. With Fallout 4, they made Far Harbor, which had a lot more choices and stuff you could do than, say, the base game of Fallout 4, where the choices didn't really matter as much. And with Nuka World, we could be essentially bad guys, which you could not be at all with Fallout 4. And you still weren't that evil in the game, but you could still be a raider and take over a bunch of settlements and stuff. And I think when it comes to 76, they will absolutely be listening to the community. I think that's already shining through before the games even come out, if you look at how hard they're hitting anti-griefing and PvP, which I think they're hitting a little too hard, but whatever, they're definitely listening to the community because a lot of people are worried about PvP and worried about griefing, and they've kind of alleviated a lot of that.
Fallout 76 is by far the largest project that we've ever done. It encompasses parts of the studio in Maryland, Austin, Montreal for Bethesda Game Studios, as well as we're getting a lot of help from other parts of Bethesda. Some of the great folks at id Software, Arcane, ZeniMax Online, And so it really is a huge undertaking, not just for us, but all parts of Bethesda.
So that part I thought was pretty interesting because we knew about the 4 Bethesda studios working on the game, but I don't know if we'd ever heard that id Software, Arcane, and ZeniMax Online were also helping with the game. Obviously, this is a good thing. It shows that they give a shit about Fallout 76, the fact that they have roughly 7 different studios and shit working on the game. And despite what a lot of other people seem to think, I happen to really enjoy Elder Scrolls Online. I think it's a fun game, so them having ZeniMax Online helping them, I think, is a positive as well.
So even though the release date is coming up, there's still so much to do. Our games usually at this point have a lot of systems that are working, but we haven't really gelled them all together really the way the end users see it. And so we're in that phase right now where we're tuning and tweaking and making things more important, making other things less important, and making sure it's as solid as it can be when it comes out to everybody.
So that part to me is a little worrisome. He talks about how the game's coming up, the release is coming up, and there's still got so much to do, and there's still so much tweaking and things they gotta fix before the game comes out, which is just a further testament in my eyes that they should have done the Break It Early test application a little bit earlier than they're doing it. October 23rd is pretty damn late. The point of the beta is to get a lot of people playing the game so that you can have them discover any and all bugs and glitches and problems with the game so they can fix it before the game actually comes out. But, October 23rd is super close, like 3 weeks or so from release. And the fact that we're going to have the limited playtime we've talked about, 4 to 8 hours a day. And there's some days where some people can't even probably play because of different time zones and shit. I just don't know, man. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how this game is on launch.
One of the things that we really like about Fallout 76 is that we've built it that we can support it on a month-to-month and week-to-week basis. So our plan is this is a game, and we know based on our previous games that people are going to play literally for years. So it's something we're going to keep updating, and the way the whole system is built, connected, we can add things the players like more of, change parts of the game, and that part is really, really exciting for us, that we have the game that we're launching, but then we also have the game that it's going to be a year from now and 2 years from now, and we're going to do that with the community, so that makes it extra great.
This is something we've been talking about for a while now, how the game is going to be evolving over time. They're going to be, listening to fan feedback and all that stuff, and it's a game they're going to be supporting 4 years, and they talk about how, their games are played 4 years. People are still playing Morrowind, people are still playing Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, and all that stuff. Their games are played for years to come, and it's going to be the same thing with this game. The difference here is this game is going to be supported with updates and add-ons and DLCs and shit for the entire time of its life cycle, whereas the previous games from BGS, they die within their first year. And what I mean by that is that they get their last piece of add-on or DLC and some of their last updates within the first year of them being out. So the big difference here is this game is not going to be like that. Because it's a multiplayer game and it's an online game, they're going to be supported forever, essentially, until the game is no longer a thing. And the last thing I want to talk about is this Fallout 76 leak that I mentioned near the beginning of the video. Now, before we even get into it, it's not a big deal, it's not major, but it is possibly foreshadowing some stuff. Some images got leaked from the Washington Post's monitor, because I guess they're there testing the game, along with the other press and the YouTubers and influencers and stuff. And some images got leaked, 2 of them. One of them is just a single character on screen, just kind of standing there. Another one is a picture of 5 characters on screen at what looks like a camp. Again, this doesn't really show us or tell us anything, but the point is, for one, it's the Washington Post, and there's an NDA, and as we mentioned earlier, you cannot show any gameplay or anything until next Monday, and this is illegal if I'm not mistaken. Now, what I'm not certain about is if it was actually leaked by Washington Post themselves. I haven't researched this because I don't want things to be spoiled for me, but it has their name tag below the monitor, so it's the Washington Post monitor. But that doesn't outright say it is the Washington Post, because if I was at this event, I could walk up to anybody's monitor and take a picture. I could walk up to Mr. Matty Plays' monitor playing Fallout 76, take a picture, and everybody would think that Matty leaked it, So I don't know if it's been confirmed that they leaked it themselves or whatever. And this right here, my dudes, is what I was complaining about with the YouTubers getting early access video. And it wasn't just about them, it's about people in general getting early access. This kind of things happens. You have a bunch of teenagers and young adults at this event. People are going to take pictures. They're going to leak some shit. This was something that I said was going to happen, and I'll be damned if it didn't happen. And as far as we know, because Maddie tweeted out earlier that, he got to play Fallout 76 today, this is the first day where people got to, play the game, and we're already having shit leak. I mean, I don't really want to say I told you so, but I guess I told you so. Going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other things end up leaking before we get to see the gameplay on Monday. And there you have it, YouTube, another news roundup for Fallout 76, some non-Pete Hines news for once, except for one little small thing that we talked about. Kind of nice to not have to troll Pete Hines' Twitter for information for once. So as usual, let me know your thoughts below in the comments. And if you guys went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. And my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting